Alright, so I want you to close your eyes and picture this, because I think it's something that a lot of you guys could relate to. So, you're aged 8. Your parents didn't give you money for the book fair, so your teacher hands you a $5 voucher for any book you want. You're going down past aisles of goo gads that other kids your age are getting, but you can't. You weren't given any money. But then, right in front of you on one of the shelves, you see it. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Just the $5 that you had. And you get it, and you read it. And it's the best book you have read in your childhood. I think for a lot of people, this is a very relatable scenario, and one I found myself in multiple times throughout my life. My family wasn't well off, but whenever I went to the Scholastic Book Fair, I was always able to get a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. And I loved it. While I started with the hard luck, I had eventually built up my collection over the years, and I had been able to read all of the books. Up until, well, I want to say long haul. And those memories as a kid, I would say, are priceless. And I imagine I'm not the only person who got lost in the world of Plainsview, with the entire Heffley family being ingrained in your mind. The narcissistic Greg, you had the distant father Frank, the overbearing mother Susan, the weirdly normal Roderick, and then just whatever the fuck was wrong with Manny. No one generally knows what the fuck's wrong with that thing. And then you had the rest of the cast, your Rowley, Holly, Fregley. Just pure iconicism in a book. But what if you were missing something? Some larger part of this world? And not talking about the movies, those are really fucking good, by the way. Now, what I'm talking about is a little place called LodedDiper. I'm pointing dramatically. You can't see it, but I'm pointing dramatically. Why the fuck did I specify that? But basically, what LodedDiper is that it's a place where people are able to post things called LLBs. LLB stands for Looks Like Book. What does that mean? It means it's fan fiction. It's just fucking I'm not sure why I'm overcomplicating it. It's fan fictions. And r/LodedDiper has some offerings like Greg Goes to France. That's normal. Greg the Streamer Girl. Okay. Greg and the ballistic missile, the shooting, the pregnancy, Greg cock and ball torch. I'm sorry, where did this all come from? And my genuine answer for that is, I don't know. Usually I have like numbers or some shit. That's like my fucking thing, right? I'm the numbers fucking bitch, I'm a fucking tranny, but at least have the fucking numbers. There is no fucking concrete reason I can give you for why it's like this. But I can give you a theory. A book theory. I'm not fucking MatPat. I miss him so much. He's like a fucking I miss MatPat, man. Alright, so here's my theory. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is a massively popular franchise with over 300 million copies sold across the entire series. And because of that, it's been able to have a massive impact on a bunch of kids. These books in particular, in the beginning, had a massively darker story, with the main protagonist being a sociopath and the rest of his family being genuinely dysfunctional in a more realistic way. And this has led to people as they grow up wondering what that would look like without all the sanitation that's been put onto it. So what eventually happens is that the most autistic, retarded chuds of them eventually come together and make their own online forum to share little headcanons with each other. And that's how you get r/LodedDiper. And trust me, I'm not saying that as hate. I myself am a autistic, retarded chud. I am saying it with all love. That is like my highest compliment. And I think the best way to show what I mean by all this is by actually going through the stories and analyzing them for what elements they take from the books. Which is me just saying that I'm gonna have a little fun here and we're gonna read some stories. Also, I should probably put up this warning on screen. These stories really take the unsanitized part very seriously. And I don't know if a lot of you guys will be fans of that, so if you don't like that, you've been warned. Hey, if you liked and subscribed, that would be really cool. Day 1. Riley and I are making lemonade to cool off, and there's some heavy rounds of Twisted Wizard. Not long after, Dad exclaimed to us that there's a ballistic missile heading towards our town in an hour, and we need to evacuate immediately. Riley and I were unsure if this is actually happening. I then received a notification on my phone. Dad was right. We got everything we needed, loaded everything into the car as fast as humanly possible. We saw other cars pull the driveways the same way time we did. 15 minutes left. Riley decided to tag along with us as his fat ass is too slow to run back home. Anyway, we started taking the road. Found out we didn't have enough seats for Riley, so we taped Manny's legs to the roof of the car. I don't care. It works. My mom then thought that giving Manny a gun would eliminate traffic, which is a stupid idea, but she still did it. We put Manny in the car with a gun and have less traffic to deal with. A few minutes later, we hear a gunshot from the top of the car. Manny shot the gun and killed someone. We didn't know who killed, but after Roger heard the gunshot, he started congratulating Manny and told me he's doing a good job. His family, I tell ya. Good job, Manny. I guess Manny's fucking cracked with it, holy shit. 38 minutes left. Dad started speeding just to get some underground bunker in a park miles away so he could settle there during nuclear fallout. Manny's on a shooting rampage right now, killing pedestrians left and right just to shoot a few seconds. Riley's been butting his nails the whole ride. I like how absolutely fucking geeked out Manny looks. Like he's been on a rampage. He knows he's gonna die. Dad said we could haul all of our stuff into the bunker in about 10 minutes. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get the tape off Manny's shoes in time. I hope Dad brought some spare drummies. I need to have lunch today. I meant to pack my Xbox, but I forgot Formula 1 racing at home. Riley's gonna be pissed. I wish Holly was with us. Greg, you're fucking thirsting at the end of the world. What is wrong with you? 32 minutes left. We're getting really close to the bunker. That's what's time to spare if we don't get distracted. But we then heard a faint scream and a whack. We all had to check to see what happened. Manny flew off the car, hit the tunnel wall, and died. It's an absolute bloodbath. I wish I had the red ink to show it because Manny was pouring blood out of every severed limb. We have no idea where the gun went though. That's only weapon we packed. This is not a good sign. 30 minutes left. After the Manny incident, we kept driving. Not long after, another family tried to escape pointed back, trying to signal something. Turns out, there's a car doing 120 miles per hour and is crashing into every car and is still running. We parked into an empty parking lot just in time for that car came and kill us all. Well, I can't say the same for the other family though. Yeah, you fucking trash, holy shit. If we were as little as a second behind, we'd all be dead. We got insanely lucky on this. If we can survive that, we can definitely survive the missile. 22 minutes left. Remember when we taped Manny to the roof of a car? Turns out other people did that too, because Dad was assassinated from a bullet to the head. After he heard the gunfire, Mom pulled the emergency brake and all took cover. The best work's done. Shots were still being fired at the car. Luckily no one's hurt from bullets. Windows? Not really the same story. It's all he got cut deep in his arms and legs, found disinfectant and some band-aids in the first aid kit to help him stop crying about it. We had to dump Dad off the side of the road and Mom would take the wheel. She immediately went ham on the gas pedal. For a while the ride was perfectly fine, until we ran out of gas. There are no open gas stations, so we had two choices. Went to the bunker on foot with all of our supplies, or Jackson's car. What do you think we chose? 18 minutes left. There was family of three getting into a car that was right next to us when we ran out of gas. Those dumbasses placed a shotgun on the roof of their car. They thought we easily off those fuckers. Turns out they have a lot more supplies than we did in their car. Team packed drummies. 5 boxes of them, in fact. There's a slight, and by slight I mean huge problem with our car rate though. People saw what we were doing, and not long after, they tried to kill us. Not for a new supply haul, oh no, but for killing those 3 idiots. What, were they their cousins? Well, never got an answer to that, as Roderick slammed them in the head with a bat, but they then beat the absolute shit out of Roderick. I had to escort him back to their car before they could deal any more damage to him. He could have died. Holy fuck. Fucking Roderick, the goddamn piece of shit. We're loading the fucking bags in the bunker and the bitch jumped in, locked us out free and tossed him in all the drummies. That motherfucker left us to die. Well, I guess this is it. I'm going to die. Bomb's already gone off. I can feel the heat in my face. I'm not making it out of this. Well, I guess there are worse ways to die. At least I got my best friend and Mom right next to me. Manny, Dad, I'll see you too soon. Monday. Riley and I had to do some throwing exercise during phys ed today, and let me just say, I didn't know Riley was into certain things I'm explaining right now. So we're throwing a football at each other when I suddenly missed, and instead of aiming the ball towards his hands, I aimed it towards his balls. I know being hurt in the balls feels like, I think every boy does, so obviously ran to check on him. What I did not expect was to see him blushing. Riley, why the fuck you a freak, dog? Hit my balls again, Greg. I was weirded out and I asked him what he was on about. Nothing. What was that? Well, it's like sure strange. It also made me curious. Do people like getting their balls crushed? Maybe I'll check Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia for help. I was surprised that there was an answer to my question. Something called cock and ball exists. Don't even ask me if anyone actually enjoy that. By the way, I wasn't the only one to find out about cock and ball torture today. I actually turned on my wiki articles read out loud option, and I had my computer's volume at max.
Cock and ball torture from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. en.wikipedia.org.cockandballs.
Why the fuck is Roderick making that stupid ass face? I quickly stopped the audio, but I think it was already too late. Before I knew it, my little brother Manny was at my door looking at me.
Why is cock and ball torture, Bubby?
Well, and there's no point in trying to hide it, so I just spilled the beans. I explained how cock and ball torture is a sexual activity involving male genitalia, and some activities involving wax play, ball busting, tickle torture, and more. But I should probably stop talking at that point, because what I keep saying gave Manny an idea. Why the fuck is he explaining this to Manny? He's like 3. He was way too fast. Out of nowhere, I felt a sharp and quick fist eliminating my manhood. I couldn't move. I felt nothing below my waist. I felt like I was going to totally die right then and there as I choked up in tears. The last thing I heard were Manny's giggles. I'm now stuck in the hospital waiting for the doctor to heal my balls. And let me just say that I think they're officially done for. Sunday. I've seen my family at all these past few days, but I did see someone else. I'm so sorry, Greg. I guess I should blame Riley for making me curious about cock and ball torture, but whatever. Riley and I began talking. I asked him if anything important's been happening at school while I was gone, and supposedly there has. Rumors are being spread about me losing my nutsack, and they give me the name Zero Greg Stickles. Shut the fuck up. Plus, this is all thanks to Riley not being able to keep his mouth shut. Before I started throwing slurs at him, he told me that he and his family bought me a set of prosthetic legs. After they told me a doctor appears a large box, I lost my balls 2000. It's very epic. I like the fact they had to make sure it was an Apple and an Android product. According to Riley, his whole family felt bad for my situation. Since Riley blamed himself for it, he tried making up for it in the most expensive way possible, buying Apple Android prosthetics. I may never be able to have kids. I may never be able to walk again. But this, have it off nicely in other ways. The doctor helped me put the legs on, and once he activated them, I felt power. I no longer have those old legs since they amputated them. But now something so much better. Time for revenge. I felt sad, mad, and dizzy all at once when walking with these legs. Most of my time in the hospital was spent passing out a lot, so I never really got the chance to take this all in. My anger for Manny grew more once my thoughts settled in, and luckily, the doctor told me that my family is waiting outside, which means that Manny is waiting. Ran and I headed out, and Mom and Dad ran to check on me, but not once did I look back at them. My eyes were locked on Manny. I'm only 3. Suddenly my mind finally snapped. My new legs moved all on their own and this happened. I kicked Manny's web balls into the cosmos. I was smiling, but trembling too. I did that! I'm pretty sure I just killed my little brother. I heard Roger laughing behind me, and I saw Mom bawling her eyes out on Dad's shoulder while rallying about how Manny didn't do nothing wrong. I looked at my new middle legs and I gave Riley a pat on the back. I'm actually really thankful for this gift. But after this, Riley said the weirdest thing ever. Can you kick my balls with them? Only once. This is how I fucking feel talking to my Civ community. July 24th, 2018. Look, I did not think it was gonna have to come to this, but what can I say? Money's tight, and a man gotta do what a man gotta do. But I wonder what mom must think. What the fuck?
Wow, I'm never gonna be that kid.
The guys there seem pretty impressed with me, but they'll be even more impressed once they see my real skill set. I just think it's dangerous being impressed by the guy you're competing with, but to each their own. Anyways, after some waiting, they got our names down and started calling us in one by one. I think I'm next. The first is some guy called Steven Goldberg, so I guess I had to keep this diary about my time with me in the gay porn industry. July 24th, 2018. So, the producer finally called me in. I guess he's not doing alphabetical order because I was last, or maybe he just really likes me. Anyways, we talked for a little bit, and he finally decided to see what I can do. A lot of his solo stuff was enough to convince him to let me in on his next big project, titled Stevie Zahn and His Favorite Little Boys. I'm excited to start tomorrow, but I have more pressing news. My mom called. She told me she found out about what I was doing, and though she was not a big fan of it, she supported me. But I also heard Dad telling me a good job afterwards, and I did not think that Dad would be supporting me at all. Something else must be up, but I don't know what it is yet. July 25th, 2018. So, I found out a lot of things today. First off, I found out my dad wasn't pissed off about me with this. Second off, I found out who Stevie Zahn is. Finally! I'm ready for what's there. Yep. I mean, after knowing that, you should be able to put together the rest of this awful story by yourself. Here's a little hint for you. Greg Heffley is $150 richer and has lost every shred of dignity he had left. Now, I really wonder what Mom must think. I feel so violated, as if God had denounced me and nothing matters anymore. I felt things no boy should feel. God's light didn't shine anywhere. August 2nd, 2018. Welcome to hell.
Greg, please, open the door. I haven't seen you since that day. Are you okay? Please open the door.
I've been hanging there for 2 days, but I guess Dad just found me now. Isn't it funny? Of all the people to find me dead, the one who caused it. I mean, it wasn't just him, it was that fucking producer. It was Mom, it was everyone. But most of all, it was me. I guess I should say suicide isn't the answer. But when your dad f***s you in the ass, I can assure you, it's the only answer. I don't even have anything funny to say about that story. It's just fucking sad. Holy shit. Well, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I loved all three of those stories. To me, they're funny, dramatic, really fucking depressing. They all have the common threads of Manny dying, Greg suffering, Greg's family being a shit ton of assholes. And all of it was just to serve the way for the author to express themselves. It's for people to be able to exaggerate the already present dark humor and imprint themselves on it, or to tackle their own dark traumas and dark experiences. So, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that these stories are all masterpieces, right? You just saw them, they're flawed. They're not perfect. And I'm not gonna tell you to go to LodedDiper and start reading your heart away that every story there is gonna be half as good as the ones that I've curated here. But I think there's really something to be gained from these stories, and it's just freedom of expression. These stories were all created by people who were inspired by Jeff Kinney's works, and I think there is a beauty in that people who had fallen so in love with these characters wanted to take their own shot in creating a story with them, and how passionate and just amazing the community around it all has been. On LodedDiper, the people there are genuinely really nice, and I'm glad that a community like them exists. I want more stories like these to continue to be made and propagated in the future. Because ultimately, art and the expression of art doesn't need a reason for itself to exist. Art does not need to explain itself. It is there merely for you to try and get an explanation out of it. One that doesn't necessarily exist, but you will keep searching for. And I doubt many of these stories are really made to be dug into and have these nuanced takes found in them, and many of the stories are dark and edgy, and you yourself might not enjoy reading them. But I would like to think that for each of these stories, there's someone out there who had just picked up a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book and wants to read something that maybe hits a little closer to home. This has been Solzara. I hope you have a good Pride Month. See ya.